Warning!
You're watching Dr. Todd Lee TV, where theoretically you could learn a bunch of cool shit.
So we're here at Umbra, probably my favorite gym in Michigan right now. RTB is really great too. Totally different vibes. I love some of the equipment here. I love the music at RTB and the energy, but this one, like RTB, is probably the only two gyms in the state where you can record and film. They in fact encourage it. They actually have tripods and stuff, and they have sick posing room just like RTB does. So we're here today to do arms and legs. I'm going to focus on tricep, bicep supersets, 2 pairing, and I'm gonna do the usual hamstrings, adductors, leg extensions, and then I'm gonna do 2 sets rather than my 1 set of a squat variation. Also, I'm 12 weeks out right now. So we're done with the first superset. I'm gonna try to remember what I did just now. 180 for 20 / 30 for 18, 19. And then the next set was 180 for 18. And then it was 30 for 10, 9. And then it was 180 for 12 plus 5, 30 for 5 plus 5. I'm gonna go get my Vulcan and then we'll get started with the second superset. So that concludes arms. Now it's on the legs. I haven't been getting sore, so I added an extra rest pause set to my hamstrings. I've added an extra press set to my quads. I added an extra rest pause set to both biceps and triceps, both exercises. I'm adding a third set to adductors, and I'm gonna add rest pause to calves. One rest pause set to calves. On chest, I'm going from one exercise with 3 sets to 2 exercises with 2 sets. And on lats, I'm going up to, I believe, 9 sets of back. So I'm adding volume to everything except I'm going to be adding an extra rest pause set to both middle and rear delts. So pretty much every body part's getting an extra set this week because I'm so ahead of schedule. The medium days have been started coming up. The low days are staying low. So I think that we're at that point where I'm going to start doing this with the calories because the gear is so much higher now than it was up when it was over here. And then as more gear gets added in and I start introducing Wrath of the Valkyrie, I'm still going to burn fat and I'm going to make progress probably. So I expect that I will refill whatever glycogen fullness I've lost. Maybe I'm growing more tissue in microscopic amounts, but really it's about filling out the quads, the chest right now because everything else is pretty full. I forgot I'm doing 2 exercises today. Technically I did 5 sets because I did 3 with 2 rest pauses on that. I forgot this fucker. God damn it. Well, we're going to see what overtraining does. Totally forgot what I was doing. And I told you guys what I was doing first too. All right. Oh shit. Come on, you can do it. In the hole. There you go. Look how creepy this homunculus of a human's supposed to be. Look how creepy that is. Her head doesn't match her forearms or her humerus. Her humerus and the forearms are weird lengths. Her hands don't match her elbow size. Look, her wrist is bigger than her elbow. And the weird expression on her face. It's like a baby giving birth to itself. And you're not going to get the hamstrings with your knees bent like that. I mean, you should, but it doesn't really feel like it. Look at how this is arranged. This is supposed to be comfortable, but your legs articulate here, and there's this thing in the way. So there's no way to see, like, if your feet are up here, it actually is comfortable, but you're not going to get your adductors. You got to go down here for your adductors, but then there's this in the way. See, what you got to do is scoot all the way forward like this. So did 8 plus 2 on the second set. I think I got 17 here. 150 was way too heavy. I felt like I was going to rip something. Once again, that's why you should never listen to Paul Carter. It's because 4 to 6 reps, I'd be ripping shit right off I've torn this groin twice, this side of the groin 3 times, this hamstring 5 times, this hamstring twice. Do you know I've never torn anything doing sets of 15 or 20. So this whole 4 to 6 reps is more hypertrophic. If you're like 5'11", 150 pounds, and you're lifting with less than your body weight, go ahead, do sets of 5. But if you're using gear or you're over 40 or you're even remotely strong, you're going to tear your shit right off the bone. People don't realize how much harder it is when you do the stretching at the end. Oh my God. 25 reps is so much harder than it sounds. I've been on Wrath of the Valkyrie, a quarter dose, 1 capsule out of the 4 appropriate capsules for my body weight for 3 days. I have lost 3 pounds and I smell like a trucker. I don't even recognize my own body odor. It's disgusting. I can't believe women like the way men smell because it is disgusting. I put on deodorant too. You saw me put on deodorant. Weird. So we needed a small intermission while we collect our forces to do the main event. Oh, I forgot my fucking knee wraps. God damn it. I don't want to have to walk all the way back out there. Motherfuck. People are like, I thought you go to the gym to exercise. You can't walk across the gym? All right, I got to go pee and get my knee wraps. What a pain in the butt. God damn it. I'll do one warm-up set while I'm here. You know what she said? It's all about the angles. And so that's why I use 2 heel wedges and that bitch. So there ain't no glutes. It's all quads because at least for classic, you want the tiniest waist and glutes possible. So your quads and lats look that much bigger. Plates last time, which was too much. It actually hurt my knee a little bit, which is a really pathetic thing to say, but it's true. Now, I have a special track for squatting. It's always my squat music, no matter what, always. It felt so light at first, and then it got so heavy after 10. It's all quads. I didn't feel any hamstrings, didn't feel any glutes. It was all quads. It's so humiliating to be on camera struggling with such little weight, but I mechanically disadvantaged the quad so extensively. I'm doing little stuff you can't see either. Like I'm internally rotating the humerus. I'm pushing down with the big toe like this and trying to spread the floor apart while pigeon-toeing my feet on the press, doing everything you're not supposed to do to be as strong as possible, to deactivate the hamstrings, deactivate the glutes, deactivate this part of the thigh. So it's just all this doing the work. Just like if you saw when I was doing the leg extensions, I was rotating at the top. That's how I was getting this spot right here. And like all of your hypertrophy PhDs, with the exception probably Israel, are going to say that's wrong. It doesn't matter if you feel it. All that matters is the load on the bar, 5 reps. 3 reps from failure. That's what the studies show with 135-pound 20-year-old children who've never lifted before. Showed no improvement with 20 rep sets over 5 rep sets, but none of that applies to probably anyone watching this video. So, and like the leading scientists who say that are itty bitty. So it's like, why would anyone listen to them? It's like taking stock tips from a homeless person. Like Brad Schoenfeld has a lot of research, but Brad Schoenfeld looks like you break in half in a stiff wind. Not that I'm the biggest guy, but for fuck's sake, if you're gonna be a researcher about hypertrophy, use your research and be credible. That would be like, imagine if someone was a steroid expert and they were 150 pounds at 5'11". That doesn't make any sense, does it? No one would listen to that guy. So like, why would you listen to the hypertrophy experts if they're built like girls? It doesn't make any sense. Obviously, the exception of this would be girls, but I don't know of any hypertrophy PhDs that are girls. Ella, Scientific Snitch, she's pretty much equivalent to a PhD in any field she chooses to look at for 30 minutes. She's smart enough to outdo all the professors in their own subjects with half an hour of research. She's so fucking smart. So if Ella was saying something, then I'd listen, but all of these dudes that have 12-inch arms. Not that I've got the biggest arms, but still, if it's like an adult man with 12-inch arms, I'm not going to listen to a fucking thing he says. I don't care how many PhDs he has about how to lift weights. That's just fucking insane. And that the audacity that they're going to say that more than 5 reps doesn't work. It's just stupid. Again, it's being penny smart, dollar stupid. If you get hurt, you can't train at all. So you're always safer with 12 to 20 reps than you'd ever be with less than 12 reps. You're never more likely to tear something with 12 reps than you would with 5. That's never going to happen. So you could say that I'm overcompensating for an inferiority complex, that I'm basically rationalizing why I'm using such light weight. But I was doing 8 plates on a hack squat for 12 before I listened to Paul Carter's 4 to 6 rep bullshit and went to 8 reps and hurt my quad right before prep started. So all prep, I've been playing defensive with legs 3 times a week, 3 sets of leg extensions. First, it started with 1 press set every 7 days. Then it was 1 press set every 5 days. Then it was 1 press set every 2 days. Now it's 2 press sets every 2 days. And had I never listened to somebody and I just did what I knew was right, I probably would be doing 8 plates on the hack squat for 20 reps by now. And my legs would probably be 3 inches wider like they were in the off season. But when you listen to these scientists that don't have muscles, what you get is hurt because they don't have any common sense that heavier the weight, more dangerous it is. And 5 reps is always dangerous. Doesn't matter how good your form is. Come on. I think that was 13 or 14 reps. A lot of Paul Carter's information is good. Never seen him train legs though. So that's probably the most important thing I ever say is don't ever listen to that guy, especially when it comes to the rep ranges. If you could be that wrong about one thing, can't really trust anything he says about anything else. Now, the person he takes his information from, Chris Beardsley, that's a smart guy. It was his graph that he made, which I don't know if it's accurate or not, that convinced me that 3 times a week training was better than 2 times a week. But the logic is this. Let's say you're doing 6 sets a week. You have to admit that if you're doing 3 sets twice a week, this 3rd set's worse than the 2nd set, and it's certainly worse than the 1st set, right? So you get 2 first sets a week. If you do 3 training sessions a week, 2 sets each, instead of having 2 third sets, 2 first sets, and 2 second sets, you have 3 first sets, 3 second sets, and no third sets. So you're just going to have higher performance for the same amount of volume. So if you can recover in 48 hours, train in 48 hours. So we're done with quads. Now we've got calves. And then we got abs and we got posing. And it's been 4 hours and 15 minutes since my last meal. He even says doing 5 reps is better for calves than doing 20 reps. Anytime I go 10 reps on calves, I feel extreme pain in my Achilles tendon. Doesn't make any sense. Why would you ever do something that hurts? It's illogical. They're going to argue that you progress in strength faster with 5 reps than you do with 15 or 20 reps. Who gives a fuck? The goal isn't to get stronger, it's to get bigger muscles. Strength increase is a byproduct of hypertrophy. If you train for strength, you will get stronger faster due to neuromuscular adaptations. It doesn't result in the muscles getting bigger or faster. Plus, when you get hurt, and you will, now you have to take time off. And if you tear something bad enough, there's scar tissue, and you're gonna look worse on stage. Now, if you're a power lifter, never do more than 5 reps. But if you're not a power lifter, what the fuck are you training for strength for? It's not gonna help you move furniture. You're not gonna punch people in the face any harder. In fact, hypertrophy training is more functional than strength training because power lifters, they accumulate a skill, neuromuscular adaptation, where you're able to contract all of your 2x fibers simultaneously is skill dependent. So if you're stronger at the bench press, it doesn't mean you're gonna be stronger at the squat or something. With powerlifting, it's all specificity based, which means it's skill based. With hypertrophy training, that's not the case. that a stronger muscle is just a stronger muscle no matter what you do with it. So that whole thing about functional training is retarded. Nothing's more functional than hypertrophy training. It's just as usual, the science-based people don't have a fucking science degree. They don't know how to read a study. They don't get the perspective. They don't understand validity. Today is the first day in months that it's actually got hard. I think it's because I forgot to take my Motsi this morning. I normally do 1 milligram Motsi every day and I have unlimited energy. Today, I'm fucking exhausted. Even though the squats weren't hard, doing 2 sets wiped me the fuck out for these calves. I know that this is going to sound like a bitch thing to say, but it's like, I don't know where I'm going to find the energy to do the abs and the posing. I know I will. But this is my first time where I felt doubt in the middle of a workout since the off season when I wasn't using the Motsi. It's funny, you could be eating all those carbs and they're not going to actually help with energy if they're just turning into fat because your insulin sensitivity is poor. All these mitochondrial upregulators really make a difference. It's kind of embarrassing too because like you don't want to say that you rely on peptides or anabolics or shit like that. You like to think that you're conservative or you're being health conscious, you're playing it safe by using less stuff. It's bullshit. No, your productivity goes up through the roof when you do everything right. So, I mean, if I was going to say like the most important shit that isn't like test and GH, it might be telmisartan, retatrutide, and probably Motsi. They're fucking game changers. GHKCU if you don't want to get older. GHKCU is like a great adjunct to GH. For longevity or vitality, I guess is the proper term. Oh shit, that's rough. I used to get ab spasms after 1 set. Now I can get through 3. I'm doing these like 3 times a week now. That's 9 sets a week. All right, posing time. I'm so thirsty. I didn't drink enough water during this workout. Or before, perhaps. I didn't grab a gallon during this workout. I don't know how to get in. What to do? What to do?
Now it's our turn for the stories and revelation. Analysis warming skies where as pockets are whirling. Falling down to us screaming, bursting miles and miles of corpses. Living resisting ancient forces. As far as the eyes can see up. If it's sergeant wouldn't believe her, that would be fucking returns.
Great news. I am now partnered with Talon Wellness. Talon Wellness will be able to provide you your medication. So you get your consult with me. I will review the blood work you got through M&M Labs, and Talon will be the HRT clinic that will get you your medication delivered to your home. So there's nothing that changes on your part. All you do the same thing. You get the consult with me. Link is in the description box, and I take care of everything. It's just that now it is now a different HRT clinic, and the lab process is going to be even smoother. The prices will also be lower than they were with the previous HRT company. So this is all good for everyone. You'll love it. Click the link in the description box to set up your consult today, and on with the show.